Yeah, good morning. This is Bang Bang Rahul. Yeah, I'm sorry I've been away for about, a week now. I had a bit of a bug in the tummy and it gave me a bit of grief, yeah, so I wasn't able to do anything. I've done a few podcasts, but I ain't been able to sort of work out as such. I done the hill the other day, and when I come to have a little workout in the gym, I've just felt bad and I couldn't do it, yeah. It's made me very weak, but I'm back here now. I've just done 5 hill. I'm not doing a train this morning, but I'm going to start again tomorrow, yeah, because I'm feeling a bit okay, but I don't want to push it too much. But anyway, this is about my mate Leslie McIntyre and about me and him when we used to train. Do you know we used to train over Gunsbury Park nearly every morning. He used to live in Shepherd's Bush. I used to live in Acton. He used to run from the bush to my house in Acton, and then we used to run to Gunsbury Park and do our workout, and then vice versa. I used to run to him in Shepherd's Bush, and then we used to run all the way back to to Gunsbury Park. Yeah, but we used to work out a lot of it was to go around the park twice, which is about what 4 miles, maybe a little bit more. Around the park twice, and then we used to hide these logs. Yeah, we put the logs behind our back and do bunny hops, and then we twist with the logs. Twist with the logs. The logs were quite heavy, and then we should do a little run with the logs behind our back, but not too far, just in case you fall over. But little runs with our logs, lifting the logs above our head, was in front of us as well. Lat pulls, pull them up, above your head, pressing, and all that, and really have a good workout. Yeah, we work out for about 2 hours with the run as well. So it was a good workout. Yeah. Anyway, I was me and Leslie was over the park, Gunsbury Park, and we went by this big tea house. We've got a big tea house there, and there's a bit of a green there. I don't know if anybody's been there by the pond. There's a green there where they do putting. Yeah, but anyway, and me and Leslie decided to have a little spar around. We had no gloves or nothing. We had just bare fists, and we was like really giving it some grief. Really punch each other in the face, and and it was like come to stages where we'd like really smashed our faces up, and it got to a stage where it was no longer a sparring match. It become real. You know what I mean? But no kicks or all that. But it became real. And Leslie was a welterweight, and you got to remember that I was a heavyweight. So when I caught him, I mean, I was nearly knock his head off. But he was very, very fast. And being there's no ring, being he got no ropes around, he used to move around us to be able to catch him. And then he'd come in, bang, 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 and then he'd fly away. And it smashed me up a little bit, yeah. And all of a sudden, whoa, whoa, police come through the park and thought we was having a fight in the park, you know what I mean? And said to us that we can't be doing that again. I said, why? Why can't we spar in the park? What's the problem with that? You know what I mean? We haven't got to, it's not a fight. We're sparring, you know what I mean? We're bare fist fight. You can't do it. We can't do it. If you do it, we'll arrest you. I thought, oh, that. Anyway, so what he decided to do, me, is he's go and get gloves. So we went down to this gym, Chiswick Transport, London Transport, and got 2 pairs of gloves and come because we used to spar down the transport. Leslie was a good fighter, good welterweight. Is Sinclair Christie? He come under. A good fighter, Les, and he was with Ernie Fossey. Remember anybody remember Ernie Fossey? Ernie Fossey. Uh, who was it? It's Ernie Fossey. Uh, oh, down the Haverstock Hill, the Wellington Highgate, which was anyway. Ernie Fossey was in. That was his trainer. That was Mickey Duff's gym with Harry Levine and Jarvis Astaire, that little firm. But he had this guy, that guy, and he was a good trainer, Ernie Fossey, good trainer, and that's just to train him. And he was he was a amateur, but coming to a pro. I mean, he was going to sign at any minute with Mickey Duff. George Francis was also there, but I mean, he was really good. This, I mean, he was a good welterweight, really fast, and he could really bang. He used to hold his hands like that, but could really bang. And as I say, we took the gloves from Chiswick Transport, uh, because we know him very well because we used to fight there, and they lent us the gloves anyway. So we decided to go around the park, and when we finished in the park, we got to find another area right down by the castle. There's a castle there, right down by there, going to the castle grounds and do some sparring, which we should have done from the off, yeah. Anyway, that's me and Leslie used to spar for what, I don't know, what, 8 rounds, 9 rounds, seriously, after our workout, and we used to give it to me all the time, Leslie. But if I hit him, it was a bit like really hurt him, a bit of a liberty, but he needs to smash me up a little bit. I used to like it in a way. It's crazy, when you're boxing. After a while, the punches don't really mean much, especially with gloves on. It's bare-fisted, does. I mean, it gives you a bit of grief, but not so much so. Anyway, when he was down at Wellington Highgate and I was down at Haverstock Hill, the Noble Art down there, and I was training down there, and Leslie, it's all about Leslie. I mean, it's not about me, it's about Leslie. Leslie would come down to the Noble Art Haverstock Hill and always said to me, come to Wellington, Georgie Francis wants to see you, wants to see what you're about. He's heard a lot about you, Ray. I've told him a lot about you, mate. You should come down there and do some work down. I said, nah, look, I'm down here. I'm doing a little bit of sparring with Bugner when he come down here, and I've got quite a few fighters really that I'm above. I mean, come on, to fight with Billy Ed. Billy Ed was British and European champion, I think, at that time. I'm not quite sure. I never got in a fight. I never got in the ring with Pat McCann. Pat McCann, good fighter. Pat McCann was a good fighter. I used to go. I used to love getting in the ring with Billy Ed. Billy Ed was a southpaw. Billy Ed taught me a lot. He did take me a lot. Bugner, all he wanted to do is knock your head off his shoulders. He could hit, Bugner. He could hit. And I was only an amateur. I was still an intermediate. I wasn't open class and nothing like that. But Bugner was a good fighter. As I said before, John O'Gardner was there. John O'Gardner, good fighter, mate. John O'Gardner. He had all the sponsorship in the world. If you had this sort of sponsorship, I was in the same, but like anything else that happens with me, I get myself into trouble and get myself nicked because money is more important to me than anything else. Not my career or anything. It's crazy, really, because it's one of them silly kids that was always wanting money. Even when I was a kid with my poor old mum, I was talking to my sister yesterday about it, and my sister said, "Do you remember when we used to do the paper rounds?" I went, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And she said, "All the money that I used to earn, I used to give to mum." You know what I mean? And come on, I said, "Well, I was the same. When I worked down at Blacksmiths, I was giving my mum all the money. You got to understand, mum had it hard. You know what I mean? She had 4 or 5 jobs when we was kids, and 3 or 4 jobs. Doesn't really matter that one more, whatever. But she worked really hard for her kids and cooked us good foods. And we was talking yesterday, me and Dinah, about a whole lot of it, yeah. And my sister Dinah, I love her to death, Dinah. She's a good kid, mate. She had it hard with my mum. She had it hard as well. You know what I mean? My sister was really, really good looking. We used to go. I know I keep changing it, but it's changing the stories really. But we used to go to a school called John Perrin School in Acton. It was more like East Acton, really. And this John Perrin School at the minute, I think it's all closed down now. They made it a big housing estate, which they do now. That's what happens. And we used to go to John Perrin School, but at the moment they're putting lots of pictures on Facebook about John Perrin School and kids who had the pictures taken. And we was also remembering we also had our pictures taken as kids. Yeah. So every time it comes on, I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it. My sister yesterday made me laugh. I sent her the picture that I thought was her. There's about 20 kids, 30 kids there. And she said, I was the best looking kid in the school. That one's ugly, I thought, oh, no, steady. And she was good looking, my sister. She was so pretty that Brian Cox, the actor director, right, he loved my sister. He loved my sister a lot, My sister was really beautiful, mate. She was stunning, Had long brown curly hair. She was stunning. And I'm on about stunning, And all them horsey girls are nutcases anyway. You know what they're like. They're crazy. And she was absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I used to say we used to go to John Perrin School, and I can remember. My sister said she had a photograph with my brother Keith. I can remember, but all I can remember was when it came up on Facebook, there was a teacher there called Mr. Maunders. Yeah. And I said before on my podcast, he was a really nasty person. He used to cane you all the time. He was a really wicked man, yeah. And do you know when I went on the when I see the picture and the comments underneath, this guy said, yeah. He said, that's Mr. Maunders. He's a really, really nasty guy. He used to cane me all the time. So these guys were saying that. So, you know, and there was another one there called Miss Brown. Miss Brown, she was wicked, Miss Brown. She was the same. Cane, cane, cane. In them days, I mean, they used to give kids a cane, witty nitty. Today, they can't even shout at the kids. I mean, come on, honestly, it didn't sort me out because I become worse. They made me. I think mine was over the sexual abuse I had, and that was when I was at John Perry School that all happened. You know, like later on, and or earlier on. So you know that's you know that maybe changed my life completely. You know, I mean, I think it did. I think it definitely changed my life. What happened to me? But you know, when you're at school, so I mean, you had such good fun. I mean, I remember when I was staying at my sister. Do you remember Mr. Woolley? And she said, yeah. Big Mr. Woolley was massive, big guy, and he loved cricket. You know, and he used to really piss you off because he knew how to spin the ball. You know what I mean? The ball would be over there, and all of a sudden, boom, it come into the wicket. Yeah, and he was a big man, Mr. Woolley, and he bashed me up something terrible. He bashed me up with a bat. We're not a little thin bat. They had a little thin bat. They had little ball, not cricket balls. All the tennis balls was playing in this big field, in this big yard, concrete yard, and they used to spin it. And I ate him anyway. So Mr. Woolley threw the ball at me and he spun it and it hit the wickets. I was going mad. I was going, you know, I was a crazy kid, you know. And I walked up and I hit him on the shoulders with the bat. He was a tall, big man, yeah. He bashed me up, mate. He bashed me up with a bat. He bashed me up. Come on, I mean, we're only kids, you know what I mean? But kids to get beatings like big men, you know, and you're only at a junior school. And it was like, and there was a girl at school called Pauline Holden. A kid was Pauline Holden was in one of the pictures. He said, "Do you remember her?" I said, "Yeah, everybody knew her, mate." She was like, all the kids loved her because she was really, really pretty. Everyone loved her. I loved her to death, but I was a pretty kid. But you know, like my mum had it, as I said, my mum had it hard. I couldn't go and buy her sweets and bits and pieces for favours. You're only in junior school, you still want favours, yeah? And, you know, I couldn't do that. I had no money, so all the kids that had money will get their favours. Yeah, seriously. It's a joke, you know, it's a joke. And anyway, I loved the school. I loved the school. I didn't go there much. I was always playing truant. As I told you, I was walking up Perrin Road one day and this old boy in a wheelchair, he sexually abused me, not sexually abused me, but he put his hands down my trousers and I'd already been sexually abused, so I knew what he was doing was wrong, but I let it go on, let it go on, and then my mates, I got a few of my mates together, and that's what we should do, bash him up. So we bashed him up, nicked all his money, took him to the house, bashed him up, took his money. We was like a little posse, like a little mafia firm, yeah? And we used to go over to Acton Park. I mean, the other day, I went over to Acton Park, yeah, and memories, man. I remember one particular time, yeah, I had a fixed wheel, yeah. Anybody know what a fixed wheel is? In them days, anyway, in them days, you used to find bicycle frames and wheels and things like that, yeah. And you know, it was crazy as kids, you know what I mean? And sort of like spanners and this, that, and the other, nicking other wheels and all that. And I had this bike. What was it called? A Claude Butler frame. At that time, Claude Butler was one of the best frames you could get, and I found this Claude Butler frame, and I put these wheels in it, and it was a fixed wheel with a little cog, and it, you know, very fast, with a big 60-inch cog that side, and a little 12-inch cog that side. So it was really, not a 12-inch cog where it was, yeah? No, not a 6-inch cog, is it? Anyway, so I started at the top of the hill by the tea house, and I was coming down the hill, and by James Sean Connery's house, James Bond, Roger Moore. Yeah, seriously, not Roger Moore. Yeah, is it was not Roger Moore? Anyway, I get all mixed up with his names. And yeah, mate, I was coming down the hill like a lunatic, and I couldn't turn the wheel. It was going so fast, and I come off the bike, and I swear to God, do you never see these? You ever see these films with railings and the head goes through the railings? I was unlucky with my head never went through the railings. It hit this railing. How I never broke my neck, I don't know. Seriously, how I never broke my neck, I don't know. I hit the railing, some crazy speed. I split my head open. I was all dizzy. I mean, do you know what? I was one strong kid, you know. Strong kid, picked the bike up, went home, my head was split, and you know, like my mum cried her eyes open, and then she cried her eyes out and bashed me up on top of that. So really, it was yeah, she bashed me up. But my old mum, I loved her to death. We used to make trolleys. Anybody remember trolleys? Two little wheels at the front, two big wheels at the back, and come down the hill like a lunatic with a bit of rope on it, a little plank, and it was like my brother Keith was the best one at making trolleys. His trolleys had ball bearings in the wheels, so they was really fast. He loved it, you know what I mean? He loved it. Coming down like a lunatic, yeah. And here, I mean, if you was in front of my brother and he passed you, he was in trouble. He'd push you off the pavement or whatever it was, or the road in the park. We used to love that Acton Park, love it as kids. And do you know what? It's strange, really, what happened to me as a child, yeah? But I used to go on the swings in Acton Park, yeah? And they had these, what do they call them? Not swings, roundabout, yeah? And my brother used to put me in the roundabout, and him and his mate used to turn the roundabout so fast, yeah? Something wrong with my head, yeah? And I'd be sick, and I'd spew up in the middle, and I'd be sick, please stop it. And spew up and sick and sick and sick. Something to do with what happened to me. I'm not quite sure. But I was always sick, spewing up, dizzy, falling everywhere. And I wanted to kill my brother when he did that to me. He was with another guy, I forget his name now, Alex Phillips, was it someone? I'm not quite sure. And mate, I wanted to kill him. And one day, I tried to kill him with a big stone. I put a stone in a lump of earth and threw it at him and smashed his head. Yeah. Worst thing I've ever done. Worst thing I could ever have done. He gave me the biggest hiding of my life, Keith. Oh, my brother Keith. He's watching this. He was to bash me up 24/7. He was always bashing me up, Keith. And my brother Keith could bash up. He could punch my brother Keith. You know, and me and him had some terrible rows as kids, fighting all the time. Anyway, this isn't about me. It's about Leslie. Anyway, yeah, me and Leslie, you know, we used to like. He got me to go to Wellington Highgate, and and then I went to Wellington and met George and Francis, and all that, and I started training with them, and they loved me. I was really good at sparring and all that, and I held my own, yeah, and they liked me, and I fucked it up. I didn't. I was supposed to be at my house when they turned up, but I wasn't there. I was too busy making love to a woman, and that was what it was as a child, as a kid. Crazy, and I ruined it. And I ruined my chance of being a professional. And me and Leslie was a pro. Leslie was the same. He'd go, come on, we earn some money, go out and earn money. We used to go out and earn money, and like we'd earn at least £50, £60 a day, you know, doing little bits and pieces and taking money for people. Yeah, seriously. You know what I mean? Why not? You know, I mean, it's not a lot of money, £60 a day between you, but who cares? You know what I mean? We just wanted the money, mate. Money. And he really got me into this life of crime as such, yeah. Life of crime as such. Me and him as kids, yeah. I remember we was really kids, me and him. And we used to climb into shops and nick all the cigarettes, the sweets, and all that, and take it to my mum. And my mum used to sell the cigarettes. Yeah, I still love it. Yeah, And I never used to give her a lot of the money I used to find. Never used to find a lot of money. I mean, sometimes in the till, you might get a 10 shilling pound note or pound note in the till, which is quite a lot of money, you know. 10 shillings, a 10 shilling note and a pound note left in the till, but not very often. You used to get quite a bit of silver left in there, like a 2 shilling piece, half a crown, shillings, sixpences, fourpences. Anybody remember all this money? I'm talking about it. I know it's crazy, isn't it? And now that money's worth nothing. But I love it. I love to have it. I love to have it to keep it. The half a crowns was silver, you know. The half a crowns was solid silver. I don't think the 2 shillings was silver, but I know the half a crown was. And you remember that you had the 5 shilling piece, the 5 bob piece, the 5 bob. Yeah, 5 bobs. Crazy. The names we used to use, for money, yeah. But it's funny, your life, how it goes, yeah. And Leslie was my pal, was a good mate of mine, and I used to go to Leslie's house with him sometimes, and his dad used to teach us how to box. That was a good fighter, mate. Guyana, come from Guyana, good fighter, very strict, very hard man. His mum was very, very strict, and she used to bite Leslie's ears. When he was poor, she used to bite his ears. I used to hear him screaming, Les, and he was more frightened of his mum than he was his dad. He's going, yes, mummy, no, mummy. You know what I mean? And about 2 hours before that, we was bashing up someone, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem possible. Mummy, mummy, mummy. And he was very polite to his mum. Never run his mum down, mate, to me. Never run his mum down, even though she bashed him up a lot. And he had a sister called Gemma. Gemma's still around now. Gemma's beautiful girl. Her house is absolutely stunning, Gemma. Gemma McIntyre. Her house is stunning, mate. Her house is stunning. I mean, she's got kids that are, like, she's taught them the right way. They're all beautiful kids. But the McIntyre family is a hard family, yeah. I'm not quite sure it was Jeff McIntyre or Clive. I think it was Clive, you know. Uh, Clive was a lifer. I think it was a lifer, but doing a lot of bird, yeah. And they killed him. They killed him in prison. He was running people that never cared. He didn't care for authorities. He didn't care for people telling him what to do. He was right anti. He hated screws. Hated screws. Hated the life. Hated the bullying they used to do. Yeah. Used to bash him up all the time. And he said he lost every bit of his remission. Every bit. He just done. If he got 19 years, he'd do 19 years. Is one of them things. And one day they decided they had enough. It's still an open verdict at the minute, I think. I'm not quite sure. I have to speak to Gemma or to Leslie about it. I think it is Clive. Um, I mean, they found him in a cell, in a padded cell, handcuffs behind his back, and he died where he couldn't. His lungs collapsed. Yeah, so they smashed him to pieces, and he couldn't breathe, mate. He couldn't breathe. It broke Gemma's heart. It broke all the family's heart. You know what I mean? And you can't blame them for hating the system. I mean, you got to remember, yeah, when you go through that big door and you've got all them walls around you, no one on the outside of those walls can see in. They can do whatever they like to you, yeah, without anybody knowing. You know what I mean? But the prison authorities and prison authorities stick together. They don't give a monkeys. How many people have they killed? How many people have they killed? I mean, they tried to kill me, but it was only through my mum that my life was saved. You know, I went from a 19 and a half stone to about 9 stone. No one believes it, but it's what happened. My mate Toby Ludlow, he's here when I come back. But anyway, that's a different thing altogether. Anyway, I'm not going to go on and on and on because I've gone right out what I was saying. But anyway, please like and subscribe. Tomorrow I'll start training again as much as possible. I will. And anyway, I want to do. I'm going to do a podcast maybe tomorrow about my old mate Jimmy Tibbet, but not Jimmy Tibbet Senior, Jimmy Tibbet Junior. I mean, I know Jimmy Tibbet Junior for quite a long time, and listen, he's a nice kid. A lot of people don't like him because they're jealous of him, yeah. But you got to remember, his dad was Jimmy Tibbet Senior. His dad was a proper gangster, a proper hard man. So he respects his dad. He respects his dad, and I want everybody else to respect his dad. And young Jimmy's, listen, a lot of people are jealous of him, the way he goes on about girls, women, this, that, and the other, about the monies and all that. But it is what it is. But I want to do a podcast on him tomorrow, if possible. So anyway, please like and subscribe. This is Bang Bang Right Hill. Have a good day, and thanks very much for listening to my podcast. Bye bye.